we are very happy that this turmoil and confusion has ended now. That now we have a new leader that could give a direction right now. This is a very important time, the talk with U.S. on tariffs issues and all that, but we really didn't have a head figure to have a connecting and the dialogue. But now that we have that, we're looking forward to move on.
I think some are a little bit reluctant to trust this centrist pivot in Lee Jae-Myung's ideas when it comes to economic policies and foreign policies. How do you feel about that? Do you think that he would be a good president for corporate Korea?
Well, he had promised that he's going to try to create the friendly environment for business and boost up the domestic economy, as well as foreign policy. He's going to be talking to U.S. and our allies. So I'm very hopeful that, and I'm hoping that he'll carry out his words.
What about labor policy? Do you worry about that? Because the traditional thinking is that a progressive leader will give a lot of support to labor unions, and that could be a negative for businesses and some of the the stock market listed companies as well. Do you think things are a little bit more nuanced in 2025?
Well, it is a concern because of his background.
Yeah.
However, I'm sure when he becomes on a seat, it's going to be different than being a spectator and being a leader. So I'm hopefully he can be more reasonable and carry out his words like boosting up the domestic economy.
Yeah, so let's talk about the tariff situation. And I understand that the market had a very negative reaction last week, and on Monday, I believe, as well, because of this steel tariffs that's ramped up to 50%. What do you do as vice chair of SeAH Steel? Do you wait for more clarity, believing that this cannot go on forever?
Well, at the present, we are concerned with the pending orders and pending issues. However, my biggest concern is for the future that it will create most of the projects in U.S. Less viable than the past because of the cost will be increased. That will lead into the recession or diminution in demand, and that is the biggest concern of me. Currently, we are dealing with the current issues like the orders on the water, but we have to talk with our customers and buyers to share the cost. But the biggest concern is the future recession in the States.
Yeah, so you specialize in steel pipes. So
yes.
Basically, the steel prices go up and they're not going to be making these pipes in the United States. Is that what you mean?
Well, actually, when U.S. levied 25% initially, the day they announced 25%, the U.S. steel mills, they increased the price by over 30%. So actually, the manufacturer of U.S. Had suffered. Their final products became less competitive against foreign imports than in the past. So protecting 25%, that protection solely went to the steel mills,
right,
where they make raw materials. So actual manufacturer, which Trump wanted to see more manufacturing goods produced in the States, which really beat the purpose.
Right.
So this time, an additional 25% increase, that's going to be devastating to manufacturers in the States, plus the consumers of U.S. And also the importers are mostly American companies. They are suffering that additional 25% when it's, I think, starting June 4th.
Yeah.
So it's a big concern for U.S.
You know, today I'm thinking about the new president in South Korea, how he's going to engage with the Trump administration. And there are certain things that South Korea can offer. Some are talking about the shipbuilding capacity or chips, perhaps. And many are talking about this LNG project in Alaska. We actually had the governor of Alaska on recently, and he was really talking about a lot of interest coming from corporate Korea. Is that something that you'd be watching as an interest? I mean, you do the steel pipes, it just makes a lot of sense.
Of course, projects like Alaskan gas, LNG projects, they use a lot of pipes. And we have participated many LNG projects throughout the world, like Qatar LNG, Mozambique LNG, LNG Canada, because we can supply those pipes that they use. Of course, we are very interested if the project goes. And there has been some hurdles, I understand, that the project had. But I think the governor, I met with the governor also, and related parties, they assure that a lot of problems are being resolved, like issuing permits issues, or using the gas in Alaska domestic market purpose, and only the excessive gas will be exported. So I'm sure there are many hurdles, but they're being addressed and being fixed. So hopefully that the projects will go and we can have opportunity to supply.
Despite the tariff element that is very much in your mind, do you think the Trump administration's drill baby drill, is it all positive for your business?
No, it's not really all positive. For maybe short term, that's a positive. But higher, I mean, if they use more gas, they pump out more gas, the gas price will go down, and there will be less projects, and the demands will diminish.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see how it goes.
All right.